Hey everybody. I know it's been a while. It's been a really long while because I started this year with the whole thing of, guys, I'm going to make a video every week. I really hope to, be able to make these videos every week. And it lasted, I think, was it 3 or 4 weeks? I made it almost a month, and then life happened and I am making excuses again because truthfully, I say this every time when I'm like, I'm gonna be doing this and I'm gonna keep at it, and then it doesn't end up happening, and it's because I'm always like, well, I got busy, like I am in school, but also because I lost momentum and I lost the will to keep doing it. Trust me, I wanted to, but trying to like find time every day when I was already like so tired and drained from doing schooling, it's hard. But I'm not going to blame it just on that. It was truthfully like also just I gave up to some degree. But I've been wanting to make another video for a little while now, and so that's what this is. I'm also trying not to touch the mic as much because when it touches it, it makes like a lot of noise, so I apologize if that happens. We're back. And I have absolutely no plan for this video. I just felt like, you know what, I need to film something because I have been feeling so conflicted and confused about my own creativity lately. And I'm also sick. That's why my nose just made that noise. And I got bangs. Yeah, there's been a few life updates. My roommate cut me bangs, and they're very cute. They're not really styled right now, and they're kind of tucked away because I do get overstimulated by them very easily. But they're there. They just are hiding a little bit. But yeah, they're cute. They're just not styled, and they're a little dirty, so yeah. But I've been feeling confused about my own creativity. I am just feeling like talking about it and also just talking about like what I want to do, what has been on my mind lately. Another life update, because my brain is like in every which direction and not actually paying attention to what I'm trying to talk about. I have switched my major again, not my major. So I'm doing law, societies, and justice as one of my majors, and then I was like, I want a second major. I want a double major because like a weird version of gifted kid burnout where it's like gifted kid, like I must do everything under the sun in order to be successful and to think of myself as a successful person. And also I just like would run out of things to do if I just did one. I would literally have like 1 quarter left and then I'd have to graduate, and I do kind of want to stay in school even though I'm still graduating a year early. I don't know. So I was originally going to do sociology, I believe. Last time I was on here, I was talking about that, but I switched it. I had already planned out all of my classes for this spring quarter that I'm in now. We just finished week 3 of 10, and then 11th week is finals week. That's a lot of information that honestly you don't really need. I'd already planned out all of my classes for it. I was going to take 3 sociology classes, start like really like hammering in the credits for that major so that I could, graduate in 3 years with 2 majors. And then I had an epiphany where I pretty much, my poor parents, because every time I call them sometimes, I'm like, guess what? I've changed my mind. And now I need advice because I don't really know what's happening, even though I'm the one driving the boat. I'm confused. I'm blindfolded driving the boat. That's not even a metaphor. My brain's really been everywhere, and it doesn't help when I'm sick, because I swear when I'm sick, I get like the actual mucus sitting in my head is like playing with it. I called them and I was like, I think I want to actually switch what I want to do. Because I had just also talked to my advisor and been like, hey, would it be possible to double major in that in sociology? And she was like, yeah, it would. Like, it wouldn't be that difficult because there's a lot of overlap there. I then, like, 2 weeks later, met with her again after talking to my parents and was like, actually, I think I'm going to do anthropology instead. Is that cool? Does that work? And it's a lot more tough because there's not quite as much overlap and I need more credits for anthropology. So I am cramming in credits. Usually I take 15 credits a quarter. I'm taking 18 this quarter, which isn't like crazy or like too much, but it's just like slightly more. And all the classes I'm taking have so many readings, so I have been reading a lot, but the readings have been really interesting. There's one of them that I do want to talk about at some point if I remember. Actually, I'll just talk about it now because I will forget. It's called The Problem with Wilderness by something Cronin. And I think if you look that up, you should find it. It was so amazing, and it just talks about how we perceive the wilderness and what the wilderness actually is a representation of us as a society and as a culture, And it also reflects like throughout different times, like especially in America with like the idea of like the frontier and like especially like white elite men viewing it as an escape from like the modernist society that they had created. You know, it was so interesting. I thought it would like bar after bar, especially towards the end. I like it really did like flip my entire perception of like how we view like nature and the wilderness and what that really says about us. Super cool. I'm doing a lot more like nature focused classes this quarter, which I have been really enjoying, and I think it's one area or subject area that I've never really like put a lot of thought into before, just because I haven't been focused on it. But you know, everything's interconnected. It's super cool. Getting back to what I was originally talking about, I'm doing an anthropology double major now, and I'm really excited about it. It's really cool, and I really like anthropology because lately with my law, societies, and justice classes, I've been really focusing on the societies and justice part. Law is still interesting, but I am no longer really keen on going to law school. I'm still like want to do something like maybe law related, but I'm very interested in like the culture and society part and like anthropological studies, specifically socio-cultural anthropology. I think it's so cool. I think like museums, even though museums are like a relic of like colonialism in many ways, I think kind of taking a look at that is what really interests me. So I am interested in, well, I'm interested obviously, but I'm excited to see where this takes me, and I'm still very like letting it be open-ended for now because I don't know. I'm driving a boat blind. Why did I pick a boat instead of a car? I don't know. But outside of that, I wanted to get back to what I originally had said that I ended up not actually talking about, which is I've been feeling very creatively confused and like conflicted, and like I'm sitting in some kind of paradox, even though truthfully I don't always understand what paradox means. Like I do in certain circumstances, and I just used it. So yeah, I feel like when I started at the beginning of the year, my like creative mind was like wanting to take everything and just talk about it, which I love. I do love talking when I feel comfortable, which is what I'm doing right now, and I do feel comfortable. But I also have been wanting recently, something that I've noticed that I've loved so much is that I do love movies and I love like filmmaking. This is not me saying I'm becoming a filmmaker. That would be cool though. I would be down for that. You have my email if anyone wants to reach out. But I love taking videos of things. I think from a very young age, I've always been someone who likes to document stuff. Like I like to keep a collection of things. I'm almost like, I talked about, I wrote this in my commonplace journal actually the other week. It was like, is a journal or like, are we doing anthropological research on ourselves? Like I'm practically keeping an anthropological, like, I'm studying myself pretty much. And I think that's what journaling is really about. And I mean, understanding yourself and also keeping like kind of a sort of collection of who you are. And I think that's really cool. And I love doing that. And I love taking videos. I think that's something that, I mean, I can go back to me in, 8th grade. And I really wanted to be someone who posted things online. And I do now. But the thing is, I have always been so incredibly scared about how other people perceive me, especially people that I know. Because truth be told, I haven't told a lot of people that I make videos like this, and it's because I fear that they'll find out and they'll think that I'm weird or like cringy for doing it, which does scare me. Like a few people do know, and I love that. But I would have some people reach out and say like, oh, I like saw your video come across on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I'm being perceived. Great. Even though that's like partly why you post things online, is to be perceived. Anyway, I always wanted to be someone who made content like that, and I like the idea of content. I do think it can very easily become something commodifiable and something like very capitalist, but I have really loved kind of the recent surge on Instagram, at least I've seen, I'm not on TikTok, of posting kind of like think pieces or like a mini video essay or like just talking about a topic or relating it to like spirituality and relating it. I've really loved that side of the internet lately, and I think a lot of people will say like, oh, it's being overdone, it's being like overused. I think it's like the equivalent of when like a bunch of old white men in Europe used to like get together and like sit in like parlors or at like the pub and like discuss philosophical things. That's like this, but like women doing it, and it's better because we're bridging new ideas and we're like collectively talking about things as like from across the globe, and I really enjoy it. And I've always just been fearful that me posting things on the internet will be an oversaturation of something because it's like, oh, it's already been done. That means I can't do it. The thing is that if you're doing it though, you are bringing some sort of originality to it, unless you're copying it like word for word, which you shouldn't do that because that's like thievery. You are bringing something of yourself to a conversation that is original, and that is cool and something that the world needs to hear what you have to say. If you're not an awful person, be ethical about it. Be ethical. To sum that all up, I've really enjoyed making like short form video content, more of just like, I love taking videos of things that I see in the world. Like I'm not as good about recording myself because I don't like to be perceived, but I love like documenting the world around me. I am the person in the friend group who will always have their phone out recording something, and I hopefully not in like a weird cringy way, but more of a, I want to remember this moment and I want to be able to look back and be like, that is so cute. But I also do live in the moment too. I think I have a pretty good balance of it. So I'm thinking of, I always don't want to jinx myself though when I say something like this, because I'm always like, I'm gonna do this, and then it falls apart in like a week or two. I'm like those people who set New Year's resolutions and then go to the gym like 5 times and then don't go again, which is totally chill, and I am you. We are one and the same. But I want to, and I'm gonna speak this into existence. I'm going to be posting more just stuff like this, more informal, more like, this is what's going on in my life, but also just like talking about the world, talking about things, not necessarily having like a set plan when I get a video or when I start filming, you know, kind of just letting my brain ramble, because it's also a form of like therapy for me, because I just kind of get to let all the stuff trapped up here out somewhere else. And I also made recently a new account on Instagram, and it's called Test Camera. I'm gonna change that name because it's kind of not great, and I need something like that rolls off the tongue a little bit more. But it's just gonna be me posting like more like short form content. I don't like the sound of that. I'm gonna be posting reels. Also, don't love the sound of that. I'm gonna be posting reels though, and it's gonna be like, you know, things that I love and like the life around me, and like I love making edits of me and my friends too. So some of it will be funny, some of it will be sweet, some of it will be like of nature, of all these things. I just want like some place where I can just kind of like dump all of the stuff that I'm like creatively working on and just kind of, you know, like let it be there. And I'm not really doing it for like engagement purposes or to like gain a following or something. I just kind of want to put something out there that's me. I was embarrassed about it at first. I was like, you know, people are going to see this and they're going to perceive me for it, and they're going to think that my greatest fear is people seeing me posting online and thinking, oh, she's trying to be an influencer so bad. Like, she just wants attention. She just wants all this, which is like, I don't really want to be an influencer. I would be a really bad one because I would be horrible at marketing things to people, because I fail at being genuine when I don't actually care about something. So I would not be able to sell a product if I actually loved it. And I also just think that the influencer can become very capitalistic. I'm not trying to be that. I just want to like spread ideas and also talk about things that are really important to me, and also just like in the world. I think having these kind of like forums or places to discuss things, like I love reading comments and I love kind of seeing what people's reactions are to what I've said and seeing how I can learn from that, because trust me, I am wrong about a lot of things, and I've learned a lot of things by doing this. And sometimes the way to learn is to put yourself out there and let yourself fail. I also think about that one Austin Butler quote, which he definitely didn't like come up with this probably, but it's that one that he does on like the New York like subway interview, where he's like, embarrassment is an underexplored emotion. Like, go and embarrass yourself, go and make a fool of yourself and see where it takes you. Because I think that's a lot of the things, is that in order to really like do something, you have to just kind of like try it and hope that it happens. And I think now that I'm in my early 20s, yeah, it's fine. I hate calling it that, but I am 20, have been for almost 6 months. That's crazy. I feel as if I'm getting to that point in my life where I'm like convinced that like, oh, I'm about to get to something, and like my life's about to change, like I'm about to reach the point where stuff starts like miraculously working, when in reality I'm already there. I'm already at my life. This is the life that I'm living right now. Every moment is something. And I think I have been trying to become more conscious of that, because in order to actually enjoy what I'm living, I can't treat it as if I'm working towards something rather than I am the thing that is doing stuff. You know, I've always treated my life as like I'm getting towards a goal, and then once I get that, I get towards another goal, rather than this is the goal. I'm in it right now. We're living it right now, and I'm gonna do it. And I'm already doing it. And it's been done. And it's now spring, and spring is truthfully my favorite season. I love the sun. I used to think that I was a big fall person because I wanted to be different. I didn't want to be, you know, one of those people who loved spring and summer, because I wanted to be different. I was also the person who wanted to be like in Slytherin because I was like everyone's a Gryffindor. I was in that like weird pick-me girl, like young girl era. I blame the media that I was consuming. But I love the spring. I love the sun. I think it opens up the world, and just like everything is blooming. The flowers are here. Like people are just outside. I love like nature and being outside. So I'm really excited. And I want to make more videos like this where I just kind of ramble, because scripts make me sound so like monotone and bored and not like interested in anything. So I wanted like, you know, keep doing kind of like like it's not a podcast though, because I'm not coming in with like a set thing to talk about. Well, kind of, but like I'm letting myself kind of like branch out wherever. And I want to start like trying new editing styles. So I don't really know what this is going to look like end product, because I'm going to make it up as I go. I mainly just want to put myself out there and see like where it takes me, and just like, you know, I also want to talk about things that I'm passionate about and like learning about in class. Like what I was talking about, that reading I had to do was amazing, and it really changed how I see the world. And I want to reread it as well. And also other things, like I want to do this research project on how like the enclosure movement in like the laws of enclosure that happened in England like were a reaction to how people were viewing like land and nature and the wilderness and like the commons, and like how it reflected like masculinity and femininity, and then how that connects to, like the primitive accumulation like Federici explains in Caliban and the Witch. So much is happening up here, and I really want to just do stuff with it. And I'm gonna regret saying this, I want to embarrass myself, and I want to like, you know, just do whatever and be cringe. To be cringe is to be free. They were correct when they said that, because I need to be cringier. I haven't reached my full cringe potential, and I will. I already am. So I am also probably going to make videos where I have like maybe not scripted something, but like I like have a list of things that I'm talking about, or I'm like, you know, it's going to be however it does. It's going to work out, and I'm really thankful for you giving me a chance to do this, and for giving me a platform, and for just like, you know, being here and watching this. And if you made it this far, thank you. Because we've been through a journey, truly. I don't know how we got here, but we did. And I hope everyone else is having a wonderful spring, depending on where you are in the world and what seasons you're in. And I will see you in the next one. And if you haven't, go check out some of my older videos. I'm also like went through a whole epiphany where I was like, I need to delete everything. I need to delete my entire YouTube. I need to delete my presence off the internet, because I'm being perceived by people, and my loved ones are going to find it, and they're going to think I'm weird. I'm going to be okay. It'll be okay. And also stay updated on the world. Read something. Fight fascism. Eat good food. And, you know, we've got a lot to talk about, and I'm excited. So I'll see you in the next one. I love you. Au revoir. Not even French.